smarter than Stephen Hawking, more popular than Chris Pratt, and better looking than Brad Pitt. 3 things you will never hear about the nice guys on business. Need an education on how to grow your business? The nice guys are here to help. Learn about great customer service, networking, and how just being nice can help you prosper. Now, here are your hosts, Doug Sandler and Strickland Bonner.
I am now recording. Ready to roll?
Ready to roll. Hello, nice guy community. Welcome back. Welcome back. If you have noticed something different from, the Monday episode, as well as, it was like all last week and the week before.
Yeah.
If I sound a little clearer, a little deeper, a little nicer, it's because I'm back in my glass enclosed studio with my rock and roll microphone, and it makes me really happy.
I love when you're home. It makes me happy when you're home. You know why?
Why?
No fucking background noise.
Yeah, no, I know. So last episode was about my, I was away in Kentucky, and then the week before that I was in Las Vegas, and I didn't bring my good mic, but now I got my good mic, I got my good headphones.
I know. Doesn't it feel like you're putting on a nice worn shoe or a pair of slippers or your favorite comfortable pair of jeans when you just get back into the right seat with the right microphone, with the right pop filter, and sitting at your laptop? And doesn't it feel right?
Yeah, and you know what else? Here, listen to this.
You have a drink.
Exactly.
What'd you get? What'd you bring up?
Bourbon.
Bourbon? Oh, nice.
Yeah, Bulleit bourbon. It's actually really good. It's
Yeah. Is that locally made?
No, there's a new place called Sagamore Rye whiskey that is going to be making whiskey locally. But Bulleit is, I'm not sure where it's out of, but they're like a smaller, kind of more niche-y one, but they're relatively inexpensive at like $25-$30 a bottle. And it's really good.
Is Bulleit the kind of bourbon that actually puts that when they make it, do they put like handwrite the VAT number or the barrel number on the label itself?
I don't think it's that personalized, but it's really good. It's it's won a whole bunch of whiskey and scotch contests where they're basically like, hey, this stuff tastes, this beats out, $100 and $200 bottles of whiskey, and it's like a $25 bottle. So
wow, that's very cool. No, I'm looking at some of the bottles now that they sell on or they're at least posting the pictures on Amazon or Google or somewhere, and very cool stuff. So it looks like they have a 10-year. Oh,
yeah. There's a 10-year, and I actually got the 10-year rye about a month or two ago, and that was really good. I'm more of a Scotch guy. It's funny because
what's the difference between rye, whiskey, and bourbon? Is it just where they make them?
You see, that's the thing. I don't know. Like Scotch whiskey, right? Is whiskey and Scotch are really a lot alike. I think they're almost exactly the same, except that Scotch has to come out of Scotland, but they taste totally different. I've always been a Scotch guy, even though they're supposed to be really similar. And so this bourbon, this rye whiskey, I just thought I'd give it a try. It's different, but it was really good.
I think that bourbon is supposed to be made in Kentucky?
Yeah, I don't know that it has to be in Kentucky. I don't know the rules.
It's very.
Hey, we got a lot of important stuff to talk about. I don't think we need to talk too much about drinking.
This was important.
Well, we are going to talk. Hey, did we even introduce ourselves? My name is Strickland Bonner. On the other side of the microphone, Mr. Doug Sandler. If you are just tuning in, this is as good as it gets, guys.
Announcement time.
You see, I totally forgot to make the announcement.
Yeah, that's all right. It was my fault too. So this is the first day that we're actually making this announcement because today is actually Tuesday, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let me just drop the small bomb on everybody. Okay, it's not a bomb. It's just an announcement. I would like to make this announcement. No, I'm not pregnant. No, we're not stopping the podcast. Nothing life shattering like that. But we are going to have a special feature that we are offering to the Nice Guy community, and it's beginning tomorrow, Wednesday. Wednesday is going to be Dialing for Doug Day. So here's how Dialing for Doug Day works, because we're going to set this up again tomorrow, and we're going to make the announcement every day until we feel like this is no longer working or this is working so well we have to move on to a second day. But just so everybody knows, Wednesdays, so tomorrow, Dialing for Doug Day, between the hours of 5 p.m. and 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, if you dial this number, this is my number, 410-340-6861. Yes, and country code 01, I think, is for the United States. So country code 01 410-340-6861. Strick, we're going to have to update the show notes also. So all you need to do is hit that number in the show notes or dial that number. You can talk to me about anything that you want. Now, I do have to limit the amount of time that I'm going to be able to spend on the phone. So I'm going to do it between 5 and 6:30 every Wednesday from now until eternity, or I die, or until you tell me to stop doing it. Because what I have found is that the consistent pattern of us doing everything, like advertising and everything, I personally feel like if we offer a consistent program once a week to our Nice Guy community, and we show it and we talk about it and we do it every day, even if it's just a brief announcement every day, like even just 10 seconds of announcement at some point during the beginning part of the episode, we will have a consistent pattern, and I think that this will be something that will work. Kind of like the welcome back. Strickland is known for that. I would like to be known for dialing for Doug on Wednesdays, 5 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. I'll spend a few moments with you talking about anything that's in your life, business, personal, doesn't matter. I'm happy to help. I'm happy to listen. I'm happy to cry with you. I'm happy to laugh with you. I'm happy to just give you a virtual hug if that's all you're looking for, because I'm really good at that. 410-340-6861. Now, there are a lot of people.
Wednesday therapy with Doug. No charge.
Wednesday therapy. Hey, maybe that's what we should call it. I like dialing for Doug, but I like therapy with Doug also. But you know who has taken advantage of this over the years?
Who's that?
When the first Funkin' fan that we've ever had, Sean Carpenter, took advantage of this. Also, when we asked for people to reach out to us, you know who reached out to us, don't you? Tim Hill.
Tim Hill, it's true.
And Tim Hill was one of those guys that dialed the 4242 line. But I'm going to make it even easier for you guys. 410-340-6861, dialing for Doug Day, Wednesdays, 5 to 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's GMT time, 5 o'clock, I believe. Or 5 hours, or whatever the fuck.
GMT? No, GMT it's your +5 GMT.
+5 GMT. Thank you very much. I appreciate you helping me out with that.
Yeah,
okay.
No problem. Now, I don't. Why can't you just have him call 4242 DJ Doug?
No, I don't want to do that.
Why not?
I don't. For some reason, I don't trust that number. I don't trust it.
Because you know what happened in that? I forgot to tell you the story last week when we were in Vegas.
All right, so let's try not to say that number again, because I don't want to confuse anybody else. We will put my number in the show notes, but we'll just call the other number. What are we going to call that?
I don't understand why you don't want him to call 4242 DJ Doug if it rings to your phone anyway.
Hey, have you known me to be like in your estimation, do you know me to be a kind of like a wishy-washy guy, or a pretty decisive guy, or a successful guy, or who am I in your mind?
All of the above?
All of the above, maybe so. I can tell you something. When I stick to something, it really can work. It really will work. So we're going to give this a good college effort here.
I just don't understand why we can't stick to 4242 DJ Doug. It's so easy to remember.
I have found that people are having a tough time with it. They just are. I just think
so basically what you're saying is you're going to blame the lack of calls on the phone number.
I will blame it on the phone number.
All right, Doug.
I think that if we put an active link in the show notes, all people have to do is click it. I think we're in good shape. I really do. Don't fight me.
How can they dial it if they're going to click it?
Damn it, Strickland.
So I don't know if you know that Saturday night a week ago, I tried to call 4242 DJ Doug from Las Vegas to leave a message.
Yeah.
I had a gentleman from, I think he was actually from Dubai.
Yes.
It was somewhere in the Middle East. It was one of the smaller Middle Eastern companies, and I think it might have actually been Dubai. And, it was because it was some weird
Hold on
city.
a second. Wait, you've confused me.
Okay, well, wait a minute. Let me try and get to the point because I know I'm wandering around it right now. Okay.
No, I don't even know what you're saying, though. So dialed it from Las Vegas.
No, we took an Uber, right? I was taking an Uber, and this guy was really friendly, and I'm pretty sure he was from Dubai, and we just started talking. We're shooting the shit, right?
Right.
And I was like, oh, my God, here's what we got to do. And he had not a thick accent, but he had an obvious accent. And I was like, oh my God, why didn't I think of this? You've got to call 4242 DJ Doug and say, and I told him to say, hey, I'm from Dubai and I would never fucking listen to Doug and Strickland on the Nice Guys on Business podcast ever. And we called and it rang twice, which was a big mistake. I knew that was a problem already because it's supposed to go right to voicemail. And then it clicked off and it actually ended up going, it started like with was it in your, I don't remember what happened, but it basically clicked off and I thought, oh shit, you know what? It's like 3:00 in the morning and it probably rang and Doug heard it and clicked it off so I wasn't going to have him call again.
Okay, so can I make my case in point right now about the 4242 DJ Doug line? Can I just make the point? It doesn't fucking work.
No, but hang on. Didn't you tell me that you set it up to actually ring when I told you it should just go to voicemail?
Strickland, if there's one thing that you should know, it doesn't fucking work. It doesn't work. It just doesn't work. I don't know. Sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. I just want them to call me. Okay, because I can't blame it on, I know my number, my 410-340-6861 number. That's my cell phone number. That works. It consistently works. It's worked for the last 10 years. 4242 DJ Doug. It fucking doesn't work consistently, so I don't care about that number anymore. Have I made myself abundantly clear, Strickland?
I suppose so, but did you actually set it up so it would ring?
I don't remember. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, but I don't know. It's technology. You know me with technology. I might have set it up once. But it's like my mom when she goes to her computer. She looks at her computer one day, like Wells Fargo. She's looking at her bank account. And then she looks at it the next day and she's like, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. I said, Mom, they've changed like are you calling me right now? Are you calling me?
Why? Do you see it ringing on your phone?
And my computer.
Do you know why? Because I called 4242 DJ Doug and it doesn't go to fucking voicemail because you have it ringing on your goddamn phone.
Wait, it rang on my phone.
Uh-huh.
You called me twice. When else did you call me?
I called you a week and a half ago at 3:00 in the morning from Vegas. And if you had the voicemail set up so it went right to voicemail, we could have left a message, but no, you got it ringing to your phone. That's why it doesn't work.
No,
because you have people calling to your phone.
Oh, you're ridiculous right now. Listen to me. The phone, it does work. And when it rings to my phone. The number rings to my phone. So
I told you not to have it ring to your phone. I said, just have it go right to voicemail.
What the fuck does it matter if it rings to me and I don't answer the phone?
Okay, let's say I'm calling, right? I am a listener. I am a listener and I am in Dubai. And you know what? I hear you raving and ranting about eat, sleep, drink Dubai. And you know what? I want to leave a nasty message or a funny message or a stupid message. And you know what happens when I hear it ring and somebody answers? I'm going to hang up. I just want to leave a message.
Yeah, but I know. But what happens when it rings and I don't pick up? Like let me tell you something.
When my God, Doug, because so many people have called that number that you don't even want to give it out anymore. But you're worried that you're going to call and you're not going to answer. Somebody's going to call and you're not going to answer.
No,
you can't have it both ways. You cannot have it both ways.
Let me tell you something. The phone does not consistently. It doesn't work all the time. No. I don't understand why. But if somebody dials that number and it just rings and rings and voicemail picks up like it's 3 a.m, voicemail is still going to pick up. It'll just be the voicemail that's on my phone. It won't be the one at 4242 DJ Doug. It'll be my voicemail. And what's the difference between my voicemail and the 4242 DJ Doug number?
You just don't get it, Doug.
I know you just don't get it.
If I call and I'm a listener, if I hear it ringing, first of all, I might just hang up immediately because I hear it ringing because I think you might answer. Second of all, if the voicemail says, "Hey, you've reached DJ Doug. Thank you so much for calling," I might get a little intimidated. Yeah. Whereas if I make a call and immediately a voicemail picks up and says, "Hey, you've reached the nice guys. Thank you so much. We love you. Please leave us a message. Let us know what you think. Leave us a question. Leave us whatever you want. You just leave it right now. Thank you. We love you so much." It's just a different experience.
Okay. And I swear I thought that we had done that. And for some reason, it just doesn't. It's not working right. I don't know. Maybe Google's fucked up. Maybe
did you ever have somebody call and did somebody ever come to you later and say, "Hey, Doug, I tried calling, but it didn't answer"?
No.
How do you know it doesn't work then?
I'm telling you that Tim Hall called and he left a message. Now, I don't know whether he left a message on my voicemail. Tim Hill. Sorry, Tim. Tim left a message on my voicemail. I don't know whether it was my voicemail or the voicemail that Google provides. I don't care.
So what evidence do you have that it sometimes doesn't work?
Because I thought that you called it and it's not working. You wanted to hang up or something like that. I don't know.
I called at 3:00 in the morning and it rang twice and then something happened. And what that said to me was that I can't remember if it was your voicemail or if it was no voicemail, but the reason that I thought it happened was because you saw it ring at 3 a.m. and hit don't
I did
answer.
see it. No, all I did was I turned off my ringer. I didn't like answer it like, no, I'm not going to deny the call. It would go right into voicemail.
You know what? Maybe it was your voicemail, and I thought, oh shit, I'm not going to leave a message on your voicemail. I just wanted to leave one on the call line for, you know.
I think it's always been my voicemail. I don't know. And what is the difference? Nobody's calling it. I think people aren't calling it. Personally, I think people aren't calling it because 4242 DJ Doug, they're like, what?
Oh, sure. That's so much more complicated than whatever the fuck your phone number is that I've been dialing for 15 years. But you know what? I couldn't tell you what it is because I just hit Doug on my phone. I don't actually dial it. I've dialed that number hundreds of times, and I could not tell you what it is.
I'm the same. I don't know your fucking number either.
Hey, but I remember 4242 DJ Doug.
I do too. I know that one too. Did we actually, we've spent 15 minutes arguing about bullshit. Let me just tell you.
We're like an old fucking married couple.
I cannot wait to play this back and listen to this was the stupidest conversation I've ever had with an idiot.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Oh my God. Welcome home. I miss you. But, I had actual topics I sent to you. I had good topics, and
we're
now
you get to them.
Oh shit! I don't want to. Now I need a pill. I need to take an anxiety pill right now.
Okay, so here's the deal. You all can call tomorrow night, okay, Wednesday between 5 o'clock and 6:30 Eastern Standard Time, and tell Doug, hey, I wanted to call, but I had to look it up. I mean, I remember 4242 DJ Doug, but I had to look it up in the show notes. I really prefer 4242 DJ Doug, even though I never actually called.
Right, exactly. If you give me an opinion like that, well, I might consider going back the other way. But for right now,
why don't you just give me the login information for 4242 DJ Doug, and I am going to set it up so it does go right to voicemail, so it has a warm and friendly outgoing message to our listeners. And if they want to use it, they'll use it, and we won't post anymore. You know what? We'll post both numbers. We'll say, if you want to call, here, this is perfect. If you want to call and speak to a human being Wednesdays between 5 and 6:30, call this 410 whatever number. If you'd like to call anytime and just leave a message or a question or a recording or an intro for us, call 4242 DJ Doug. How's that?
Hey, Strick, do you have your OneNote anywhere near you? What do you use?
Always. I have my OneNote right here. And in fact, it has the show notes. It even has the promise statement, which is to provide a learning experience that is entertaining and adds value to your life. I do hope this so far has been entertaining because I know it has not been a learning experience this morning. That is for goddamn sure.
Can you write down my phone number in there? 410-340-6861.
Okay, so I got to put it in the show notes now. Wait a minute. I'm going to put it above 4242 DJ. Although, you know what? I'm looking at our show notes. You're right. We took 4242 DJ Doug out of the show notes altogether already because nobody was calling.
Totally. Do you think anybody's actually still listening to the show?
What's your phone number? 410 what?
Actually, for some reason, I think that people enjoy listening to us argue with each other.
I hope so. 410, what is it again?
410-340-6861.
6861. Call Doug.
Right. Wednesday
we'll
between 5 p.m. and 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
I'll put it in the show notes.
Call me anytime, but the time that I'm going to leave available for you to actually talk is between 5 and 6:30. So if I don't pick up the other times, it's because I'm having an appointment. But Wednesdays, I'm looking at every Wednesday between now and the end of my life, and I have nothing scheduled.
So one of the topics that you wanted to get into, craft beer.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about craft beer for a moment.
Craft beer to you is Bud Light Lime, right? Like you put a lime in it, it makes it craft. I mean, you're a Budweiser guy.
I've actually enjoyed a couple of craft beers. I cannot remember any of the labels to the craft beers, but when Sean and Casey and Laura and you and me and Danielle went out, was that it? Was there anybody else, or was that it?
I don't remember who else. It was Laura Cannon and Sean Carpenter,
Casey Cornelius, and Danielle, my wife, and you and me. We went went out to Victoria's Gastropub. I love the name of that place. Victoria's Gastropub in Columbia, Maryland, and we enjoyed some craft beers, I would guess what you would call them, before we had dinner. And I didn't even ask for a king of beer. I know that they keep them in the fridge for me specifically. We had a couple of, I don't even remember what they were. I'm not a big fan of IPAs.
Yeah.
But I have liked a lot of the like the lagers and what are they called? Hefeweizens?
Yeah, Hefeweizen, yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the craft beers I've been enjoying them. And in tasting wine and tasting beer, I'm trying to decide there are a lot of complexities both between beer and wine.
That's true. And so if you are a beer connoisseur and you want to turn Doug onto a good craft beer that he should try, call him tomorrow between 5 o'clock and 6:30 Eastern Standard Time, and you can give him your recommendation personally.
We can absolutely talk beer. So, but part of my question is, how do you determine at what quality or quantity of beer it goes from being in like a regular glass, like a pint glass, to a glass that actually has the brewery's name on it, to one of those little brandy snifters.
I think the brandy snifter thing is like just when it gets pricey and when they want to pour you a shorter glass because it's too expensive.
Is beer really that expensive?
No. Well, it can be. It's whatever people will pay for, Why does Starbucks charge $4 for a cup of coffee? Because they can.
Okay, so what? That's part of what I'm asking you. So, and you're a much more of a beer connoisseur than I am, and you maybe not a connoisseur, but you absolutely know about beers, and you know what you like even before you order it. If somebody like describes like the type of beer, like if somebody said to me, like, give me a is it called a stout beer?
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah.
Somebody says like blah 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 stout beer, and like you would know immediately what that means.
Yeah.
Other than knowing that it's probably like a darker beer.
Yeah, which you wouldn't want. It's very heavy, very dark. Right. You wouldn't want a stout.
But I have tasted a couple of stout beers recently, and I can't tell you the names of them. I don't know, but they come out thicker. But some of them have like either a coffee or like a chocolatety or even a smoky or almost a bacon kind of flavor.
Oh, yeah, there's all kinds of flavors nowadays, yeah.
So I've noticed that would you say there's more popularity to beer or to wine out there in the world?
Oh, right now it's totally a beer thing. Totally a beer thing right now.
So?
People are really into all the craft beers, and there are a cajillion of them out there. I mean, really, there are a ton of them now.
I just never know, other than just going back to some, and I have to tell you that the reason oftentimes I would go to the standards for me, and the standards being I really like Budweiser or Bud Light or Coors Light or even like if you go a little crazy, I'm like, okay, I want a Sam Adams, which really isn't that's just
crazy.
Yeah. I know, right?
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's not the same. Maybe it is the same now, but it used to be that Sam Adams was like a specialty beer, correct?
Yeah, early. I mean, you might call Sam Adams one of the first craft beers, and obviously nowadays they're not craft beer at all anymore.
Right?
But they kind of started a bit of the trend, you could say, 10 or 15 years ago, probably. Sure.
So then now you get into like some of the beers, and these are mass-produced beers like Blue Moon and what's it called, Shock Top.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I enjoy those beers, but they are definitely are mass-produced flavored beer, right? I mean, is there anything craft about those two?
About those two? No, not at all. No.
All right, but you then taste a beer called, I don't know if you know it, but have you ever tasted Come Hell or High Watermelon?
Not that one. I think I've tasted ones from that brewery, but not the watermelon, yeah. Yeah,
and there's just a lot of, so I'm really trying, you'd be proud of me. I'm really trying to step outside the box. Okay, so I'm not, I felt like I was using Bud or Bud Light or anything like that because it was consistent. I did not want to spend, how much is a beer? Even a Bud when you go into a bar. How much is a Bud sometimes in the DC bars? $6?
Yeah, it depends on what bar you go to, but you're right. Comparatively, the craft beers are only going to be usually $1, $2, maybe more than a regular beer, which is no big deal. Unlike a Scotch where you can pay like big bucks for it if you get a really nice one.
So I guess I felt like, I don't know, I don't want to go too far outside of my Bud Light, Coors Light. Then I started stepping into the Sam Adams and Stella, and then I started going outside of that into the Blue Moons and even to Shock Top and that kind of stuff. And then I ran out of, I don't want to, these are just really boring.
Yeah,
there's not like much to them. There's not a lot of
the craft ones, the ones that you've tried are really boring, or the Budweisers?
No, like the like the Budweiser. It's like, come on, Doug. I mean, you don't have an extreme palate. However, you got a palate that can handle something other than a Budweiser. You know?
Yeah, I would hope. Yeah, I would think.
But I didn't necessarily want to go out to a restaurant where I'm going to spend $6 or maybe even $7 or $8 for a beer if I'm not going to like it, because then I got to drink the whole beer and then I'm not going to like it. So I started doing a lot of there's a place called what the heck is the name of it? Frisco Tap House that's by us in Maryland.
Yep.
And they have like 100 beers on tap. And the same thing with the Poorhouse. They have, I don't know, 100, 110 beers on tap. They will pretty much let you try anything that they have on tap. So you really do have an opportunity to experiment with some things without spending $7 or $8, and you can try it.
You can also do tasters sometimes, like at Victoria's and a lot of places, they'll give you like 5 different beers or 6 different beers, and they'll give you 5.5 ounces of each. So you get basically a real baby version of each one. And it's good to be able to try them like that too. Mm-hmm.
No, I like that too. And really, they started doing, as I forget where I was recently, but he was talking about, or she, I can't remember if it was a guy, I cannot remember where I was, but we were having food, and then it was interesting that they were actually doing some food pairing with some beer. And then that kind of was cool too. So, then I started thinking about the whole, I love wine, and I'm not I don't love white wine necessarily, but I do love red wine. And I'll tell you, there are so many complex red wines. I'm not a connoisseur of wine, like I'm not a connoisseur of beer, but I'm not a barefoot wine drinker. So I'm not. It's not like I'm buying. What's the ones that are sold in the
Ernest and Julio Gallo?
Like that one. Well, it's actually some of the box wines
before it's paid for.
Right, exactly. What the heck is the name of the? I'm blanking on the label. It's the small ones that come in the like the little, almost like a split of wine, the glass of wine. I don't remember. It's a little screw off top. Anyway, but there's many. Even some of the better wines have some of the screw off tops now. It's not a matter of whether it's a good wine or a bad wine, but it's just some of those mass produced wines. They have absolutely no flavor to them. There is no. My wife and I always joke about it. We're like, oh, it's got a very chocolate aftertaste, or it's very coffee forward, or something like that. I don't know. So I've liked wine, but I've discovered through experimenting with some wines that actually many of the beers are that way too, and they have a lot of very subtle flavors. And you can think about the flavors of the beer as you're drinking, and you can actually separate the flavors mentally as you're drinking beer. And I'm assuming that's why some beers are not sold, really, really cold.
So now we will be splitting off and doing our second podcast called The Beer and Wine Aficionado with Doug and Strickland, the nice guys on beer and wine.
I think that's a good idea. I love nothing like, could we do it with vodka? I like vodka too. Do you like vodka?
If it has alcohol in it, I like it. I drink whatever. Yes, I like vodka. I like some vodka.
You pretty much. But you wouldn't drink.
I actually have this vodka. There's this, the whole flavored vodka thing has gotten really big lately too, right? It's a lot of it's really cheap. But there's this company called Svedka, and they have like this whole line of like 15 different flavors. They have an orange cream soda vodka. Oh my God, it's so good.
That sounds so bad.
Tea. No, I mix it with with Arizona green tea. Oh, it's so good.
It doesn't sound good. Doesn't sound good.
It's okay.
I like the triple, quadruple filtered, really smooth
Tito's.
Tito's, exactly.
I like Tito's.
See, I would drink vodka just on the rocks. I don't like it warm. I like it really cold.
Yeah.
But I do like it on the rocks with maybe just a squeeze of lemon. Mm-hmm. So for the alcoholics that are in the nice guy community, we have really hoped you've enjoyed this segment. Let's see. The first part of the segment, Strickland and I argued for 20 minutes about a fucking phone number, and then we talk about drinking. Next, we will be handling cigarettes.
Yep.
And then tomorrow's show, we'll be dealing with gambling.
Works for me. All the time with gambling. Always with gambling.
Oh God. Okay.
So we got a couple more topics. Do we want to get into more topics or wait till the next episode?
No. I think we wait. Well, wait. We have a format announcement.
Oh yeah, we haven't even talked about the format change.
We didn't talk about that, and we're at the end of the show. We've lost most of our audience at this point.
Oh well, they're going to be surprised when they tune in tomorrow and hear an interview instead of you and I shooting the shit.
Okay, so why don't you just go over the format change with everybody, and then we will remind them of what we're doing on Thursday's episode when we'll have to wait a whole week to get to the next.
Okay, so we put a poll up on our Facebook page and said, what do you guys like? Do you think we should keep doing the format the way we are? Do you think we should add a third interview and just do 2 days of the nice guys? And so we asked all of our Funkin' fans what they thought. And of course, what happened? They fucking ignored us. So we made our own decision. That's not actually true. That's not.
We got like 15 responses, I think.
I know we did. We got a number of responses, and it was pretty well split. I think we got 1 or 2 more saying don't change, or we got 1 or 2 more saying do an extra interview. I don't even remember, but it doesn't matter. It was so close that we decided we really need to get rid of our backlog of interviews, and so we're going to start doing 3 interviews a week, and then 2 of the nice guys on Tuesday and Thursday, and we'll see how that goes for a while.
Yeah, I think we do have a pretty big backlog of interviews, and I think we have a pretty big demand for more people to be on the show. And I'm trying to really narrow down the quality or really fine tune the quality of the show that we're just having. We've had some really, really great guests on the show, and I don't want to turn away a guest that I really feel is good, but I can't have it so they come on the show, Strick, and then we wait 90 days or 4 months to get them on the show. It should be. Within 30 or 45 days, I think is like the max. How far out can you push somebody for their interview? No,
I'm with you. When you start talking about things and you don't realize you're talking about, September coming up, or you're talking about the fall that we're in now, and then, when you air it, it's winter or something. I'm with you. You can't do that.
Yeah. So format change. Stay tuned for that. It's happening tomorrow. We'll have an interview tomorrow, and then back to our. I can't argue with you again, Strickland. I just cannot. It just tires.
Okay, so here's the deal. Then on Thursday, we're not going to argue. We're going to talk about Domino's Pizza is now wings. We're going to talk about Trader Joe's, and we're going to talk about my experience with Southwest Airline.
Oh, did you have another experience with Southwest?
I have an ongoing experience with Southwest Airline. Right. That could possibly change my opinion of Southwest. We're going to find out, but you'll have to wait till Thursday to tune into the episode and find out.
Very interesting. Okay, that was good teaser. All right, so nice guy community, never underestimate the power of nice.
And what about tomorrow? Gavin Zuklinski is tomorrow. We need the teaser for that.
Haven't we teased him enough about what's going on? We have the interview tomorrow. It's a great interview. Acuity scheduling. You don't know about Acuity? What? You got to check out tomorrow's episode. It's all about amazing. Gavin Zuklinski created a great system. You want to hear all about it tomorrow's episode on the Nice Guys on Business podcast right here. Stay tuned tomorrow.
And I'll be drinking the second half of my bourbon during Thursday's show.
Nicely done. All right, Nice Guy community. You know what to do. Get to it.
Steve O'Brien, take us out of here.
For Doug, Strickland, the Nice Guys on Business podcast, I'm Steve O'Brien. Yo, bartender, Jobo needs a refill.